All right, folks, welcome back to another edition of the warm-up right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. I'm Rich Quinones. We'll take you up to 2 o'clock straight up. As we mentioned, a ton of boxing on the docket. August 1st at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. 12-round affair. Philly's Danny Garcia set to take on Paulie Malignaggi. Of course, this will be Danny's first bout at 147. It's a stacked card, PBC on ESPN. ESPN Deportes, and Danny is kind enough to join us for a couple moments. Danny, first and foremost, appreciate a couple moments of your time. And anything different going into this fight as far as training camp with this first fight being at 147?
You know, we're just working, we're working smarter, we're working harder. You know, we added a lot of things to our workout. So we're going to start up to 147, build agility up, speed, stamina, and it will all be showcased from the following Saturday night, August 1st.
You know, it's interesting because a lot of times when a guy's moving up, I mean, you had to relinquish your WBC title, and a lot of times people say, you know, sometimes a boxer just has a difficult time making 140 as you get older. You feel stronger going forward at 147?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel a lot stronger, you know. I think I should have been a welterweight about a year ago. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. I've been training really hard. My body, I'm 27 years old now. I'm in the prime of my career. And I think the perfect time for me to go to 147 and make some noise.
Did you do anything different this training camp now that you were able to put on a little more weight, probably getting a couple more meals, where conversely before at 140 you were probably skipping some meals to try to cut weight? You do anything different training-wise?
Yeah, definitely. We added, you know, eating more healthy stuff. I need to eat more meals during the day so I can feel strong. You know, I'm running longer miles. My stamina is better. We're doing a lot of agility drills, explosiveness, a lot of conditioning. So, you know, we're just working really hard.
You know, this is going to be, and you know how boxing is, this is going to be your third non-title fight. It's against Paulie Malignaggi. I know you don't pick the opponents, and Paulie's a former champ, and he's a smart fighter. He's a crafty veteran. He can pose some problems. But the criticism is going to be, okay, Danny Garcia was pretty stout and solid in 140. If he thought 140 was tough, 147 is going to be even more difficult with a bunch of guys in that stacked welterweight division. So how do you kind of answer the critics right now that want to know where Danny Garcia is going forward in his career?
You know, I just got to take it one fight at a time. One fight at a time, like I always do in my career. Was 147, you know, to fight the best fighters. And like I said, one fight at a time.
When you look at Paulie and you look at guys that you fought in Lamont Peterson and Mauricio Herrera, Matisse, you know, were some of those struggles in that fight to the fact that you were a little weaker at 140? They gave you a little bit of a difficult time late, especially in those fights?
Yeah, I mean, if you can see the fight, like, I was dominating 3/4 of the fight. All those fights. That Peter fight, you know, the Matisse fight, all those fights. And I think the weight was kind of hurting me in the later rounds. Like the Peterson fight, I dominated 3/4 of the fight. I feel like, you know, I won the first 7 rounds. I won the 9th round. You know, but the weight was, it was kind of draining me a little bit. And I'm going to do a lot stronger at 147.
Danny Garcia joining us for a couple moments. Again, undefeated, 30-0, 17 knockouts, taking on Paulie Malignaggi August 1st. PBC on ESPN, ESPN Deportes. That's at the Barclays Center, which is interesting because, you know, you kind of wonder who's going to be the draw, the A side, the B side. Obviously, you're the A side, Paulie's the B side, but I'm sure there's kind of a going joke amongst you guys in the boxing world. Who's going to sell out more of the tickets? Is it going to be Danny Garcia, or is it going to be Paulie Malignaggi in his backyard?
It's going to be Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is going to sell it out. Danny Garcia got the biggest gig at the Barclays Center his last fight. 12,300. That's the most ever for boxing.
Danny, when you look at your last couple fights, as we just mentioned, and, you know, you look at the fight against Herrera, where on the record, I thought it could have went either way. I actually scored it slightly in favor of Herrera. You look at the Salka fight where you dispatched him, and now you look at Paulie, who a lot of people believe, with all due respect, maybe has one foot out the door, is going to have a bright career as a commentator with Showtime and whatnot, but still a game fighter, so to speak. How much is there to gain for you with this fight? Because a lot of people say if Danny Garcia loses his fight, he has a lot more to lose than gain.
You know, I just got to go in this fight like I approach every fight. I got to go in there, look good, and win the fight. You know, I can't worry about the critics or if they think I won or they think I lost. Or at the end of the day, I'm 30-0. knockout. And come Saturday night, I'll be 31-0.
Are you going to start? You going to start this fight off with a little more activity? Try to get that jab going early on, because you know Paulie's coming in with no power, so he typically likes to get in, get out, get that jab going. You think if you can bank a couple rounds, you can make life easier for you?
You know, I'm just gonna go in there and work off my jab and work my way into the fight and get the victory.
When you look at 147 as a whole, and you look at some of these guys, I guess again one of the arguments can be made. Well, if he couldn't make weight, then he's going to have to move up, whereas, well, you could maybe rematch and fight guys like a Matisse Herrera, a Peterson, some of the guys that we already mentioned. Where you look at 147, now you get some guys with some serious punching power with the Thurmans and the Brooks and the Khans and the Porters, and I know you fought Khan before, but it's a stacked division. So how do you handicap your power at 147?
I mean, I punch as hard as those guys, so, you know, and I face great competition in my career, and I'm ready for whatever. Anything them guys can do, I can do better, you know. I'm a former world champion, and I believe I'll be 147-pound champion too.
Two more quickies for you, and I do appreciate a couple moments. And then Danny Garcia joining us on 97.3 ESPN FM. The warm-up on Rich Quinones will take you up to 2 o'clock straight up. Danny's prepping first fight against Paulie Malignaggi Saturday, August 1st at the Barclays Center, PBC on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. When you look, you know people are very critical in boxing. They're very fickle. A lot of guys nowadays, the social media, the bloggers, they don't get the sport. They don't really understand the sport. So they're quick to kind of pick and choose who to follow, who to criticize. After that Matisse fight, you were kind of really up top. And then people have looked at the last couple of your fights, and some might say from the outside, he's a heck of a fighter, but look at some of these guys he's fighting. Do you think, as crazy as it sounds, even though you won world titles, that people are kind of dismissing you right now?
I mean, Lamont Peterson was a world champion. And he was my last fight. So, what can anybody say about that fight? It was a competitive fight. I won the fight. I won more rounds than he won in a 12-round fight. And eight out of my last 10 fights, I either beat the current or former world champion. So the only person that wasn't a champion was Herrera and Rossafa, but 8 other guys were current or former world champions. I mean, I don't know what else you have to do as a 27-year-old champion, you know? So, I mean, a lot of people just going to say what they want to say because they don't like me. But at the end of the day, numbers don't lie and facts don't lie. People gonna say my last couple fights, but my last fight was against a world champion, so I don't get it. It's not easy to be a world champion. My Peterson was a world champion. It was a tough, competitive fight, and I got the victory. But I believe people always say what they want to say.
And you know, to be fair and to be honest, you know, when you look at some of the guys that you fought moving up in the ladder in your career, you're right. Not a lot of people can say that with the Campbells and the Holtz and the Morales and the Khan. So you're fighting these guys coming up the ladder. So again, you know, I'm just curious, before I let you get out of here, 2 more. You look at Paulie. He was an ex-super lightweight. You guys are not natural welterweight. You kind of grow out of that division. Paulie was in the same situation years ago, but he's always had that strong jab. What do you need to do to kind of counter that and offset it to kind of dictate the action and the pace in this one?
You know, I got to go in there, and I got to go in there and use my jab, move my head, use my feet, and use my quick feet, and get in and out, and close the distance. And when the time comes, land the hard shots and knock them out.
Last one for you, and I know you guys never like to look ahead to a fight and a certain opponent down the road, and I know you and Paulie have mutual respect, and I know that's kind of always how you've done things. You don't really like to look too far ahead, but let's just, you know, a little bar talk right now. You and I are just sitting at the bar right now. If you had your pick down the road after this fight, is there anyone on your radar?
You know, whoever. It don't matter. I'm going up to 147 to fight the best fight. It's my first fight at 147 versus Paulie. And after that, like I said, it don't matter. I faced a lot of great champions in my life, and none of these guys prepare me. I'm ready to fight the best. I know they're thinking about me, though.
Hey, Danny, always a pleasure to catch up with you. The best of luck against Paulie August 1st, and I'm sure we'll talk along the way. I appreciate a couple moments.
All right, thank you.